Thank you, Governor. I like the way that sounds. I'm right there with you, and I'm sure a lot of other people too. It's great to be here in Lowell. It's great to see the city manager, Eileen Donahue, Mayor Leahy. You see the delegation here. Got Rodney Elliott as well from the council, Rep. Mom, Rep. Golden, Rep. Howard. Thank you all very. Senator Kennedy, there you go. There you go. Great. It's great. It's always fun when we come to visit, and we've all missed doing a lot of this over the course of this past year, and it's great to be at Pinella. I love the story, and Viviana, you're just beautiful, energetic, optimistic. You definitely want someone like you by your side. You clearly worked hard over the course of this past year to make it through, and there's no doubt in mind the way the Lowellians are here, they will support you as you move forward. I wish you continued success.
Hey,
and
Lowellians,
it's great. And thank you, Juan. Great. It's great to see you. And I want to thank Larry Andrews. He's done a phenomenal job over at Mass Growth Capital, taking the dollars and getting them out the door as fast as possible. The governor and I and the secretary were very anxious to make sure that every penny would get into the hands of business owners like this to help them get through it. You did a really amazing job. We clearly know that these programs work. As the governor said on this program, $687 million into the hands of over 15,112 small businesses across our state, getting through these darkest moments. And every single one of those businesses are small business owners that had a dream, that put it together, that worked really hard, employed people in their community, and very much have become part of the fabric of the community. It's part of the identity of main streets and downtowns, the small businesses that we all love and know so much. And as we wrap up this program, 1/3 of the funding, $224 million, went to restaurants, bars, and food trucks. Another $91 million went to personal services like hair salons, nail salons, and $62 million to independent retailers. And the focus of this program was to help those kinds of businesses that relied on people coming in and doing business with them, and making sure that they got the support that they needed. The other part of this economic recovery effort was not just like one program, and hopefully you fit into it, but putting together a set of different programs to meet different needs. And I want to just credit the municipalities and leadership like the city manager here become very effective at stacking up these resources. You know, each grant might be small, but when you add them all up, they add up to a lot. And so last summer, as we talked to municipal leaders and we talked to restaurant owners and said, if we can't be inside as much, why don't we have a program that helps us like reimagine what outdoor dining and experiences could be? And that was really the impetus behind the Shared Streets and Spaces program, which is a huge success. And some of what we learned about reusing sidewalks and parking spaces and parking lots will become permanent features in communities like Lowell. We invested $26.4 million to 161 municipalities and 4 transit authorities to implement 232 projects, including $70,000 in Lowell to support your outdoor dining program. And good news, another round of applications is being submitted. So it was recently reopened, so more to come. Did we interpret that as more to come to Lowell? Okay, I think that's what that was. Our local rapid recovery planning program is also a part of this collection of programs, 125 communities, including Lowell, to help downtowns rapidly recover. Last month, we announced 37 grants totaling $5 million to cities and towns and nonprofits through the Regional Pilot Project program. And here in Lowell, a marketing program that you put together, a campaign to improve the region's image around tourism, economic development, and civic pride. You really had a great effort there, working with your Chamber of Commerce and featuring buy local, shop local, my local, everything local effort. So I wish you continued success with that. So just thank you for doing your part as we are here in the month of May and the weather is better and vaccines are rolling out. Of course, get vaccinated. It's safe. It's good for you. It's good for your family. There are many sites to be able to access and walk up to now and get vaccinated. Please spread the word so that we have more people involved in that program so that we can return to the lives that we had so much of before the pandemic and want to get back to. So congratulations to everyone. It is now my pleasure to turn the microphone over to Secretary Keneally.
Well, thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor. I've been looking forward to this event since a cold, rainy day in December when I got off a call with the governor and I asked Undersecretary Mark Fuller to call Larry and say, Larry, what can you do with like $700 million? And what we've done is given out about 15,000 grants to small businesses. So it's a great day to celebrate. I want to thank Juan and Viviana for hosting us here today. It's just great to be here. It's great to be back out in the community, back out with our small businesses. Your resilience, your optimism, your pride really inspires all of us. We designed this program to help your company and thousands of others get to the other side of this thing. And we're going to get there. My job today is basically to thank a lot of people. I want to thank the legislators and our partners in local government here today. You've been great advocates and supporters of the businesses in your district. We thank you for your collaboration in getting these companies funded. Since we're in Lowell, I want to thank Frankie Descato. Where's Frankie? There we go. Thank you, Frankie. Director of the Entrepreneur Center at CTI. Been great partners here in Lowell with our COVID-related work and so much more. I do want to thank Undersecretary Mark Fuller, who with Chief of Staff Gina McLaughlin and my Deputy Chief Emily Chabot have helped to drive so much important work over this last year, the reopening plan, the recovery plan, working with Larry on this grant program. So thank you to Mark and the team at HED. And I hope when someone finally writes the book on COVID-19 in Massachusetts that there will be a chapter for Mass Growth Capital and its partners, because they literally have saved thousands of companies here in the Commonwealth. And first, of course, I want to thank Larry, their fearless leader. Larry has just become an indispensable partner and leader in this work. Larry, you've done so much for our small businesses. We thank you so much for your incredible dedication. You've really done just a tremendous public service. The team at Mass Growth, they started with like 13 people and added 90 people along the way. And so I want to thank them all individually. I mean, I do, but I won't. But I want to thank a bunch of people, okay? So Steve Norman, Pat Urbano, Angela Ma, Kevin Lee, Katie Janowski, Matthew Lay, Aaron Spano, Michelle Tring-Win, Janine Duran, Teresa Ames, Samir Rofe, Una O, Gabby Gordon, Ari Velas, Paul Allen, Rick Lewis, Steve Spinney, Chuck Merrill, John Santo, Angela Mealy, Neil Martin. Thank you all for your incredible dedication during this period of time. I hope folks appreciate how much work is involved in getting 15,000 grants funded. It's almost $700 million out the door. These folks gave up weekends and nights and holidays. They reviewed 19,000 applications. They answered tens of thousands of calls and emails. They worked hard with the applicants to get their application finished and over the finish line and done. So we thank you so much. They brought on folks that are proficient in Cantonese, Mandarin, Korean, Spanish, Portuguese, Vietnamese. They worked really hard to get a lot of small businesses funded. So big thank you to Larry and the team at Mass Growth Capital. And finally, as the governor mentioned, we designed this program to provide funding to the hardest hit sectors and to entrepreneurs that typically have lacked the same kind of access to capital. And we're very proud of the fact, for example, as the governor mentioned, that 43% of the awards went to minority-owned businesses. And that doesn't happen by itself. It happens with a group of very committed community partners. And so I want to thank some of these folks as well. The Black Economic Council of Massachusetts, or BECMA, the Business Equity Initiative, Mass Association of CDCs, LISC, LEAF, African Community Economic Development of New England, Small Business Strong, and Amplify Latinx, who's with us here today. These folks, a lot of them have come together to form something called the Coalition for an Equitable Economy. And their mission is our mission. How can we create a recovery and an economy with more equity and more opportunity so all of our citizens and all of our communities can benefit? And that work is far from over. So big thanks to all the partners involved in this work as well. And finally, it's my great pleasure to turn the podium over to, where is she? Rosario Ubiero Minaya, the Executive Director of Amplify Latinx. Her organization has done so much for the Latinx community over the years. You've been out in front in your support of Latinx entrepreneurs. You've been an incredibly valuable partner, and great to see you today, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Secretary. And thank you, everyone, for having me this morning as part of this ongoing conversation and efforts that we are just collectively doing together to make sure that we are addressing the needs and challenges of our minority-owned businesses. My name is Rosario Ubiero Minaya, and I'm, as Secretary Kennelly said, I'm the Executive Director of Amplify Latinx. And our organization has worked very closely with MGCC and the administration to make sure that those funds are going directly to our communities, minority-owned communities, immigrant communities, women-owned businesses, and making sure that those funds are addressing all of the specific needs that happen through the pandemic. We, at Amplify Latinx, we are focused in building Latino economic and political power by significantly increasing civic engagement, economic opportunity, and leadership representation across sectors. And one of our initiatives is called Power Up, and is directly tied to economic mobility for Latinos and working specifically with Latino-owned businesses in our communities in Massachusetts. And all of those partners that the Secretary mentioned are on my speed dial, like on my phone. We call in every day and making sure that we are working all together. But this doesn't happen by accident. This success of this program happens when you make a concerted effort and you are intentional about directing these funds specifically, again, to support the needs of our minority communities. This strategy is really about collaboration and working collectively to understand what the needs are, working directly with the entrepreneurs and business owners, and also bringing that team of people, not only for MGCC, but for the other organizations that have developed a trust with the communities, that have developed that trust and that understanding with the entrepreneurs and the minority-owned businesses. We recognize that the administration has been delivering in these efforts, and we congratulate them to get Latinx business owners, Black and brown business owners, women, to really work one-on-one with them to make sure that not only we rectify anything that happened at the beginning of the phase where these businesses were not getting enough access, but also, again, directly in these specific funds to support the businesses. It is essential also to recognize the significance of culturally and linguistically responsive outreach to minority and underrepresented groups, significantly that contributed to the program's success. It's not only translations, it's really an understanding of our cultures, what are all of the different challenges, specifically by community. These partner organizations, we all work together, are well positioned and trusted by minority communities to effectively and quickly respond to the challenges faced by these businesses. That's why we were able to quickly work with them. That's why we were able to achieve those numbers together. This collaborative approach centered the partner organizations that help and also ensure that the collective work going forward is intentional and impactful as possible. Keeping this direction going will position minority-owned businesses for stability and growth. So again, congratulations to the administration and all of the partners for that work. And now I'm going to talk a little bit briefly directly to owners, minority-owned business owners, to make sure that we continue advocating for these programs and taking advantage of these programs. Estos programas son súper importantes para el avance de nuestra comunidad, de la economía local. A veces se hace difícil cuando estamos en el trabajo, ¿verdad? Corriendo todo lo que es los retos que estamos viendo día a día, pero es muy importante que continuemos haciendo este trabajo. The programs to continue on, what we've been hearing directly from our business owners is that they want to continue taking advantage of technical assistance, opportunities to foster network building and to strengthen skills and relationships, access to capital, and opening access to markets and customers, including work that prioritize improving transparency and also direct funding that goes directly to businesses of color. So with that said, thank you again for having me here this morning. I really appreciate your attention, and congratulations to everyone that was involved in the success of this program. And now, I invite Senator Kennedy to come to the podium.
Good morning. Thank you very much. The first time that I was here at Pinella actually was February 7, 2019, and that was to cut the ribbon shortly after the restaurant opened. And so I'm happy to be here a little bit later to see that you survived 2019, which was a strong year, but also 2020, which was a very challenging and difficult year for this restaurant and every other restaurant. So I'd just like to commend Juan and his family for making it through 2020. It's a big deal. I want to thank the Baker-Polito administration and the Massachusetts Growth Capital Corporation for partnering on this critical grant program that made $50.8 million in funding available to help small businesses, particularly those owned by underrepresented groups and in gateway cities like Lowell, weather the pandemic. And as was stated, that $50 million was supplemented with almost $670 million in December. I'm especially happy to see you here today at Pinella, a restaurant that opened its doors just 1 year before the pandemic hit, but has quickly become a favorite spot for many people in Greater Lowell. The restaurant business is difficult even during good times, but became nearly impossible as everything was forced to shut down and then figure out how to pivot to stay open in business and take care of their employees. And it's programs like the Small Business Grants Program that have kept so many family-owned businesses like Pinella, which was the recipient of a $60,000 small business grant, alive. And I hope that we will see additional programs like it as we continue in the recovery process. Thank you very much, and now let me turn it over to Representative Tom Golden.
Thank you very much, Senator, and I just, first and foremost, I want to say thank you very much to the Secretary and to Larry for doing a great job, and the foresight and the knowledge to appoint such fine people to the Governor and to the Lieutenant Governor, because I have to tell you, there hasn't been a time that haven't spoken to Rory in your office, and a number of times, I know he's talking to Larry, to make sure that this happens. I mean, Councilor Chow, Councilor Elliott has called my office a number of times. The mayor, I know, has called about all of the businesses that are located here within the city of Lowell. The manager's office tirelessly advocating, Representative Mom, my dear colleague, Representative Howard, and it really wouldn't happen. It truly wouldn't happen if you didn't put the right people in the right places, because the fact that you folks were able to do this, I mean, big round of applause for what you guys have done. We all talk about small businesses, and we all talk about them being the backbone of our communities. And that is so true here in the city of Lowell. I just have to say to this organization that's here today that allowed us to use Pinella to use their space, my wife brought home some food 2 weeks ago. Thank you again, because the food is absolutely delicious. But if it wasn't for the small businesses throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but more importantly, right here in the city of Lowell, and the advocates that are here around us all over the place, making sure that 2021 is going to be a stronger year. The administration, and I'll say it,
has done a fabulous job. There's always been a bump here and there, but I want to know anybody that's ever been through this and how could we do it better. But I'll tell you, the administration has done it. We are back. We are going to come back, and fingers crossed, toes crossed, and everything else. This is only going to get better. But the word of the day, the slogan of the day, is to get out and support local organizations, making sure that each and every time you think about going out to eat, that you think of organizations, restaurants, people downtown, in, let's say the downtown Lowell. I know this is going to go elsewhere, but we want everyone to come to the city of Lowell. And I know I said that exactly the way the manager wanted me to, I believe, because we have some of the best restaurants in the area. And we want to just really say thank you from the Massachusetts House of Representatives, my colleagues that are here, and of course the Senator. We want to say thank you very much to the executive branch, to the Baker Polito team for working hand in glove to make sure that our businesses all together are getting through this pandemic. And it's going to be an exciting 2021. So thank you all very much for being here. Appreciate it, and appreciate you, Governor and Lieutenant Governor.
Help yourself, Juan. There you go.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juan Acevedo. Me and my family own and now operate Panera Restaurant. My sister, Viviana Acevedo, is the chef. My mom, my dad, and my wife, Ana Gonzalez, we all work together as a team to bring you a whole new experience here in the city of Lowell. My parents migrated to Lowell in 2004 and have lived in Lowell since. We came from Medellin, Colombia, and me and my sister went to Lowell High School. And I personally graduated in 2008, she graduated in 2007. I couldn't have asked for a better city to land. One of the things that I love the most about the city is the diversity. Just on this street alone, you could visit about 7 different nationalities of restaurants, which is something that I love about the city, the people, and the city officials. The Massachusetts Grow Capital helped us when we needed help the most. Honestly, it was like the perfect time. It helped us keep our staff higher, and most importantly, keep our doors open. Without the help from the state, we wouldn't have been able to stay open through the last few months. I know this past year hasn't been easy for any of us, but we are grateful for all the help that we received from the local and state authorities. We'd like to highlight the great job from, especially from some of the city officials and from Christine McCall, Maria Dickinson, and Tom Lemon from this economic development team of the city of Lowell. Not only to us, but I know they've been helping every small business in the city of Lowell, because one thing is when the state comes out with the help, and one thing is to get the help to the small businesses, because not everybody knows about the help or can get the help or has the tools to get the help. And they've been doing a tremendous job, and I really thank the whole team of the city of Lowell. I just want to say we are happy to be from Colombia, to live in Lowell, and to be part of the state of Massachusetts. Thank you.